Hello and welcome back to TNN's coverage of the world's 9 best fantasy football players league. I'm your host, and this is what we have for you this week. Week 10 games shook up the league with a new team on top and a big surprising upset. To recap, we send it out to LA with Tommy Bahama. And thank you, Tommy Bahama. After the shocking upset of 10th Ave touchdown by the Tex Arcana Bandits, TNN reached out to the Bandits owner, Grayson, to see what he had to say. And now, here is Danny Football with his predictions for Week 11. Hey, what's up, guys? The world's 9 best fantasy football players expert, Danny Football here, back with another week of expert predictions. A pretty solid week for me last time, going 4-2, bringing my total on the year up to a very respectable 37-23. My guest, Brett, unfortunately did not have a great week. He went 2-4, not what you love to see. Had a couple of tough losses there, but the show respects him putting it all on the line, and we look forward to him putting up with his self-imposed penalty from last week. Now, it's a new week. There's a new guest and a new chance to beat the expert. So, guest, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thanks, Danny Football. It's offensive coordinator of the historic franchise Undefeated Never Lost, Danny Storts here. Happy to be with you this week to, hopefully either kick your butt in predictions or take a few shots, I guess.
Oh, gonna follow through with the Brett rule. I love it.
Is it not a TNN official rule now?
Well, it might be. We'll see. In our first matchup, we have Team M. Vanek taking on the Lock'em Sock'em Robots. Team M. Vanek, big favorite in this one, 94% chance to win. Danny, who do you like in this matchup?
Well, you know, the sleeper app's telling me one thing, but really my heart's telling me another thing, and that is that Team M. Vanek is way too reliant on big plays from people like Dalvin Cook or DeAndre Hopkins. Like, without that Hail Mary from last week, he would have lost. And without Dalvin Cook's stellar performances in the past few weeks, I don't think he would look nearly as good as he does. So I think he's too reliant on the big plays. His projections are too overblown in the app, and that's why I'm going to go with Tooch on this one.
Yeah, this one was it was tough for me to pick. It's the new top team in the league versus a team that knocked off the top team last week in the Snotters. Honestly, I like Team M. Vanek right now. They're coming into this one pretty hot off of that trade they made with the Bandits recently. And I don't really love the Robots with the Bears on a bye this week. They're going to be missing stud linebacker Roquan Smith. They're missing Allen Robinson. Two really tough guys to replace in the lineup. I think the projections are a little too high on some, maybe a few more than some of Team M. Vanek's players, but I do like them to narrowly get the win here. Team M. Vanek. Next up, we have Too Many Cooks taking on Bro Chill, It's Just Njoku. Too Many Cooks favored here, 78%. Thing to watch out for here, I think, Josh Allen being on a bye. Bro Chill It's Just Njoku going to be rolling with Justin Herbert this week against the Jets. And I'm going to say it. This matchup against the Jets is so good for Herbert that it's going to be bad. He is not going to come close to that 30-point projection. On the other hand, Too Many Cooks are rolling with Mahomes again after a bye. They secured a big win against Ham & Throw last week. They're looking pretty decent from top to bottom, whereas I still do not love Bro Chill and their running back spot. I like too many cooks last week, and I like them again here.
Well, all I have to say to that is, bro, chill. I think Herbert's projection, first of all, it's not 30 points, it's 26 points.
No.
And also, I think he will hit that because it is the New York Jets after all. Also, scrolling through Too Many Cooks, their team, it just doesn't really, you know, hit me right where it should. I'm not very confident in it. Also, the history between myself, my general manager, and the Too Many Cooks owner and GM, Joseph Facciabene. There's a lot of bad blood there. So for all those reasons, I'm going to have to go with Bro Chill. It's just Njoku for this week.
See, this is I think it's where you're letting your bias get in the way. As an expert, I can't be biased. I have to put these things to the side. That's why I like Too Many Cooks here.
That's fair. The bias might be clouding my judgment, but who really cares? I'm just going to go with my heart.
All right, next up, we have 10th Ave touchdown taking on the mental brick walls. 10th Ave favored here, 96% chance to win. This one is sure to be important for playoff positioning. Who do you like here?
Well, just looking at what's going on with Brett's team this week with all of the people on buys, and he doesn't have a tight end on his roster to replace his current roster spot that is on buy. So I'm worried where he's going to find a tight end and where he's going to find the points to fill in all these other slots on buy. And yeah, Tom's team is just looking pretty solid this week, so I'm going to have to just go with the sleeper app on this one and pick 10th Avenue touchdown.
That's a good pick, solid pick. I actually really like this Brick Walls team, but as Brett said last week, his tight end situation is just atrocious. And I really don't know what they're going to do to plug somebody in this week. You're going to have to stream from some terrible options like Trey Burton or Tyler Eifert. On the other hand, 10th Ave has a pretty serious drop-off in their running back quality after Derrick Henry, and they're carrying some injury questions into this week. Also, I love Darius Leonard, but I think his projection is way too high this week. Really tough to live up to. I expect this to be one of the closest matchups this week, despite 10th Ave being big favorites in the projections. And I've got to go with my gut, and I'm giving a slight edge to the mental brick walls in this one.
And I just want to say, any other week, I think I would pick the mental brick walls as well. It's just, with all the players on bye, I don't see it happening this week.
Next up, Harry Snotters facing off against Init Tua Winit. Snotters currently favored here at a 55% chance to win. Init Tua Winit has been on a big slide recently, and there have been some whisperings amongst league insiders that they have been taking offers on Alvin Kamara. Everybody should send Jacob an offer for Alvin Kamara. Will they go and full-on embrace the tank? On the Snotter side, they're likely to be without McCaffrey again this week. Both of these teams have been on the lower end of points scored against, so their weird luck could have this one being like 145, 140, or 225, 220. I think the game's going one of those two directions. I don't know which. But either way, In It to a Win It has not inspired this expert at all recently, and nothing has changed on that front. I'm going with the Snotters here.
I think that's a good pick. I also agree with your projection of a close game, either high scoring or low scoring. I think it's really coming down to the defense this week. I think for both teams, whichever defense shows up, I think that team will get the edge and get the win. And personally, right now I see the Harry Snotters. I think their defense is a little stronger, and I think that will give them the edge to win this week.
Moving on, we have Ham and Throw going up against Team Big Chungus 22. Big Chungus currently favored here, 59% chance to win. Who do you like in this matchup?
Well, I like Ham and Throw, and really for no other reason other than I just like the way their team looks more than I like the way that Team Big Chungus looks. Not really coming down to any major stats, major position battles, or anything like that. Just gut feeling of the teams. I think it's kind of a toilet bowl game, and I think that Hammond throw is going to come out on top this week.
Yeah, this is actually one I had circled as a matchup to watch this week as the battle between undefeated never lost second and third first round picks here. These are two teams that I have not loved this season. Fans of the show will know I have not picked either of these teams to win since week 3, when they both did win, I might add. And honestly, it really pains me to have to pick either of these teams, so it's time to go back to a Danny Football Classic. This one is basically a coin flip, so we're going to go and flip the coin. Heads for Hammond Throw, tails for Big Chungus. Here we go. Here's the flip. Huh. That's weird. It says that undefeated never lost is the real winner in this matchup because one of these teams has to lose. Huh. Also, for those wondering at home, it was heads, so the coin has spoken in favor of Hammond Throw. Visconti, enjoy this. It's probably going to be the only time that I pick you this year going on. And finally, our marquee matchup this week, the Tex Arcana Bandits taking on undefeated Never Lost. Yeah, that's right. This is the marquee matchup this week. This is a huge matchup right here. Could determine who ends up with that number 1 overall pick. Undefeated Never Lost, currently favored at an 89% chance to win. Some may remember my prediction from last week regarding the Bandits. Fans of the show are going to know I am high on the Bandits. And the fact that they're given an 8% chance to win is just criminal. It should be a 0% chance to win. Yeah, tough look there. Undefeated Never Lost has turned things around a bit after a terrible start, but they have lost their last 2. Fans of the show will know I have been high on the Bandits this year. I betrayed them last week with my egregious prediction, and for that I am sorry. I will not make the same mistake again. But the fact that they're given an 11% chance to win is just criminal. It should be a 100% chance to win. Bandits this week. Lock it in. We're back on the bandwagon.
You know, it's an interesting pick. I expected you to say that as I am a fan of the show and I know how high you are on the Bandits. But honestly, I think, as you said, no matter what happens this week, undefeated never lost is coming out a winner because we're either one of our 3 first rounders are moving up to the first overall pick, I think. And so the messaging in undefeated never lost since I was brought on board a couple weeks ago has always been that the sleeper projections are always overhyped. So I think this 88% chance to win is a case of that. And I don't think it's going to be a big blowout or anything. I think it will be a close game. But given that since coming in as the offensive coordinator, we have been undefeated and we've never lost, except for, I don't think we've ever lost. I am going to have to stick with undefeated never lost. They're a historic franchise. They're building for the future. They're building something amazing. And yeah, so that's why I think they're going to win.
All right. Well, Danny, thank you so much for being on the show this week. I love the picks. Wish you all the best of luck. Of course, not as good as me. Can't beat the expert. But again, thank you for being on. Hopefully, we'll be able to have you back on at some point.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Danny Football, and guest Danny Not Football, for those great picks. That's all we have for you this time. Be sure to come back next week. I'm your host, and this has been TNM.